So today I want to talk about something that's a little bit controversial, I guess. It's something I've been avoiding to talk about because I hear it all the time. It's like it annoys me to no end. Video game violence. That's why I keep hearing, video game violence. Is it leaked to real life violence? Does violent video games cause these people to go out and kill others? And guys, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to give you my opinions and my thoughts. And keep in mind, I grew up around a lot of psychotic people, a lot of people with mental problems. And I'm not mentally ill, but I understand a lot of mentally ill people because I grew up around a lot of them. I was friends with a psychotic. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you straight up that video game violence does not have any effect on a normal individual. A person who is perfectly healthy is not going to play something like Call of Duty and go out and shoot a bunch of people. That's not going to happen. You're not going to sit down and play Gears of War or Call of Duty and be like, I want to go out and shoot a bunch of people. The human mind does not work like that. So keep that in mind. When somebody does play a violent game and they get the need to cause harm, that's not the video game, that is them. Their mind is not right. They're not right in the head. Leo wasn't allowed to play violent video games because he was psychotic. So he stayed away from them, therefore he never got a gun and never went out and shot a bunch of people. But there was a time when he thought about it. And he was reported for it. And, of course, Leo could never get his hand on a gun because he was poor like me. So that's probably a good thing. Because my friend Leo would have gone out and killed a bunch of people because he was psychotic. But the point is that trying to link video game violence with real life violence isn't going to get you anywhere, because violent video games are not the cause of violence today. They're not the reason why people go out and do the things they do. The real reason, people, is because these individuals that do these sort of things are psychologically messed up. Maybe the game motivates them to do it. I'm not going to argue that. But to have that motivation there, you already have to be messed up, and the game doesn't do that to you. The game does not mess you up. And that is my point. It's not the game that makes you violent. If you have the tendency to go out and shoot people, there's something wrong with you, and you need help. I honestly believe once somebody becomes dangerous, not just to themselves but to others, once they start threatening or once they start trying to harm others, they need to be put down. And I know that's a cold thing to say. That's somebody's life. But the fact is, in the wild, you don't see that. Take wolves, for examples. Wolves stay in a pack. They have a order, certain order about them. When a wolf is mentally sick, by mentally, I mean if there's something wrong with it, it's not right, they'll drive it off. If they can't drive it off, they'll kill it. The fact is that a lot of these people who are mentally ill are not getting the treatment they need. They're not getting the help they need. And they're even probably being neglected or abused. And if they're not, then they're just being ignored. And that is why there's so much violence. But we have to understand that we live in a dangerous time. We live in a time when the economy is not very good. A lot of people don't have jobs. Some people can't even hold jobs. And we live in a time where there's a lot of violence. Now there's a lot of shootings. Shootings have become a common thing. terroristic attacks like bombings, like the recent one. I'm not going to name the stuff because I don't want to give the bomber or the people who went out and did the crimes any, recognition. So I think they should be forgotten. But my point is that this is a dangerous age, and there are going to be a lot of dangerous things and dangerous people, and there's going to be a lot of violence. But that's the way it always has been. From the beginning of time, there's been a lot of violence. We have to take into account that violence has been part of human nature since the beginning. We've been violent creatures. Rome, back in Rome, they had the Colosseum. They had gladiators, and gladiators were first to fight for their life for Rome's entertainment. It was like TV to them, and there's still violence in shows and video games. We still play games and we still enjoy the violence, but we're more civilized than then. And I know that might be hard to believe with the time period we're in, but the point is that violence is just a normal thing that's been there forever, and it's going to remain because there are violent people out there. There are, people who want to go out and hurt people, but it's not video games that make you violent. It's something not right with you. Now, I'm a gamer, and I've been a gamer pretty much my whole life. I do other things besides game suckers or gaming, but gaming is a part of my life. And I play all sorts of different games. I don't just play Call of Duty or Gears of War. I play, family games. I play creative games like Castle Miner Z or Minecraft. And I have to be honest, these type of games don't make you violent. Neither does Call of Duty. I can go out and shoot a bunch of people in Call of Duty just because I'm bored, but I don't get the compulsion to go out and hurt real people. As a matter of fact, I have a compulsion to help people. And I'm someone who plays a lot of violent games. I'm someone who goes around on gears popping people's heads off, and yet when I go outside, I have a compulsion to help others, a compulsion to the need to help other people. I'm shy, so I don't always do, but I do have that compulsion, and that does not have anything to do with what I do at home. That does not have anything to do with gaming. That's just who I am as an individual. So when somebody goes out and shoots somebody, or they go out and kill a bunch of people, well, guess what? It's not the game, it's just who they are. They're just bad people. So, think about that before we start pointing our finger at video games. Because once video games are not the hot thing anymore, once we stop blaming video games, what else are we going to blame? The truth is, people, is we need to quit blaming violence on games and stuff, and we need to start looking at the actual problem at hand. And the problem is that these people have serious mental illnesses that are not being treated. These people are psychotic, they're unstable, they're dangerous, and video games don't make you that way. That's the fact.